with a business name can either take minutes or hours. Sometimes it can take days, and that's okay. It's one of those few things that you'd want to stay in your business for a long time though, and it needs to reflect your brand identity. If you're struggling to come up with a name for your business, then this video will sort it out. What's up, bosses? I'm Talyn, your personal brand consultant at Boss Diplomat, making you look so good you can't be ignored. Let's talk about your business name. Do you like your business name? Where did your business name come from? Is there an SEO business name? There was a funny meme that I recently came across. It was of a restaurant, and the business name was called Restaurants Near Me. An SEO business name is something that is easily searchable online, but it has zero brand personality. It is so unmemorable that you can't even recall what that name was. That, my dear, is a red flag for your business. If you have a search engine optimized business name, goodness me, you need to come and talk to me. We need to sort that out. Your business name should really reflect you as the business owner. Now, I'm not saying your business name needs to be your name per se, but there needs to be elements of you in that business name so that when you talk about it, it actually feels like you are confident with it, and it really resonates internally within you and to your target audience. Now, that might sound really, really tricky, but I have a few tips on how to make this actually a no-brainer. Let's talk about Boss Diplomat just for a hot second. I came up with this business name incredibly intentionally. Back in the day, I used to be a diplomat consultant where I worked with politicians and diplomats from all countries on their personal brand. My job was to help them get connected right the way from the top all the way from the down. I used to help these individuals who are at the highest rank in their society to get them down a notch and get connected to their target audience, who were the people themselves, civil society. Now, how do you do this? Especially when your brand isn't actually your brand, you do it through you, yourself. You are, of course, representing something, but at the end of the day, people connect with people, not things. I wanted to honor this past. I wanted to honor my history in diplomacy. But because my target audience are no longer government, I decided if I'm going to be helping small businesses, I needed to make sure that my business name also reflected the small business community. Hence, Boss Diplomat. I put the two together, and that's how I came up with the name Boss Diplomat. Now, before I decided to go all in, I had to do a very basic Google search. Just type in your business name, not in the URL, which is the search engine for your website, but just Google search it. This little bit of search can remove so much headache. If you decide to call yourself 5-star insurance company, you better make sure that there's not another company named that. Also, I wouldn't recommend that name because it is so not memorable. It's like, such a pet peeve of mine. Do a simple Google search and see if there's another company or another individual using a similar name to that. Even if they're abroad, you want to make sure that if they are using that same name that you want to use, just make sure they're in a different industry. Because if they're in the same industry as you with the same name, but they just happen to be abroad, I'll probably stay clear of that, because there's going to be brand confusion. When people are looking for you and they find them instead, you are actually sending them to your competitor. And obviously, we don't want to do that, okay? Another thing you can do is go on a domain search engine and make sure that that website is not taken. You can look into Google domains, you can go to domain.com. There are so many options. So just pick one of the ones you're comfortable with and then search your domain name. Now, if you're in an unlucky position where your URL and your domain name is taken, check out the competition and see who you're up against. If they look like they're not serious, don't worry about it. You can still use that domain name, but you might have to pick a .net or a .business or a .online or something alternative and then claim it as your own. It probably costs like $12 to $15 to secure that business name online instead of trademarking. Trademarking is a whole other thing. But to protect yourself, just grab that domain name. Even if you're not planning to use it, at least it's yours and you've got it. So your competitor cannot steal it. I have a funny story to share with you. So one of my clients, I always recommend to look for your name as the business owner. So for me, it will be Talyn Rahman-Figueroa.com. It is best practice to always take the domain name of your own name, even if you're not planning to use it. For one of my clients, she was a little too late. I put her name in the search engine and oh my God, we were redirected to a porn site. Her name was taken by a porn site. Now imagine the looks on our faces when we saw that. Don't put yourself in that position. Get your domain name now. If it's taken by somebody else. Make sure you take an alternative. Again, .net, .org, .online, those are really good options, but just secure it before that happens to you. I help a lot of businesses rebrand their business. They usually come to me with an already established business name, but again, many of them are quite generic or it's just their name and it just doesn't give enough information for their clients on what they actually do. So as part of the brand blueprint, I do this normal background search on your behalf, and then if I feel like maybe this is time for a rebrand, to give yourself a new name, this is the perfect opportunity to give yourself a new business name. When I come to choose my client's business name, I usually give my clients 5 or 6 options, and then I give them 3 to 4 days to think about whether this business name is a good fit for them. Before I give this business name to them, I've already done the research. The domain name is ready to go, to be secured. I've done the background check to make sure that no one else is using this variation, or if they do, I make it very clear that this company in Australia is using it, but they're in a completely different industry and you are safe. I do all of this work for you, and then I only give them 3 to 4 days, no more than that, to test out whether this business name feels good for them, because at the end of the day, you are going to be the representative of this new name. It has to feel good for you. It has to resonate with you first before your target audience. Just a word of warning, take criticism from your friends and family very, very lightly, because at the end of the day, they are not your target audience. I don't care what your mother says, unless your mother is your target audience, listen to her. But if she's not your target audience, I wouldn't take her comment seriously. Just because you love someone a lot and you respect their decision, or you respect their opinion, it does not mean that you have to take it on board 100%. Listen to the experts instead, okay? Because I'm looking at things from your target audience point of view, not what your mother says, not what your daddy says, not what your brother and sister says, not what your best friend thinks. This is when you're at the most vulnerable stage in building your brand. So when you shoot your mouth off and tell too many people, guess what? Someone may slip up, tell the wrong person, and boom, it's taken. So this is why I only give you a few days to think about your business name, because anyone can steal your ideas in less than 10 seconds. Coming up with a business name can be overwhelming sometimes. That's exactly why you need to consult with a brand expert who can provide you with feedback and actual guidance. Now you can do this with me by booking a free 30-minute brand session with the Fairy BOSSmother, and I will help you brainstorm all of that. Let's look into, what does your business name stand for? Is it too generic? Is it unmemorable? Does it actually resonate with you? And what else can we find for you if we were to rebrand your business right now? See you in my calendars. Do it, do it, do it.